Falcon fans, and of course, A1 forever.
Yep.
Chris.
What it do? What it do?
Hey man, how you doing?
Grand Rising.
You already know what it is. You already know what to do. One time for the fan, episode 196, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Spotify Podcast. Hell, we're everywhere. A1 Forever is here in the building. T1 is here in the building. This is going around quickly. A1, how you doing, my brother? You are the special guest here this morning on Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. So good morning to you, sir. How's everything going, A1?
Hey man, I don't have no complaints, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I got something else going on tomorrow.
Jeez.
But next Friday, man, I'm gonna be waking up a college graduate, man. So I ain't tripping about nothing.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Chat, go ahead and drop a congratulations in the chat for A1.
It's been a long 4 years, man.
Hey man, congratulations, Chris.
Hey, I appreciate it. I really do.
This is how you start off a good morning here on One Time for the Fan. Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. A1, let everybody know where your social media too is, where we can find you. I know you do a lot of content here in the Falcons community, so where can we find you too as well?
Oh, well, on X, you can type in A1 Forever. I should come up. It should probably say A1 Rock. Also, of course, YouTube, A1 Forever Sports, just like it says down below under my name. TikTok, the real A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever. I try to keep it, what I'm saying, like everything kind of around the same thing. So it's easy to find and everything like that. So yeah, man. Can't wait for it, man. Like I said, been a long 4 years. Been at this thing really a little bit, maybe like a year after COVID or something like that. Maybe surrounding that in that area. But yeah, been a long journey. A lot of things going on. A lot of ups and downs, losses and everything like that. Especially like losing my pops last year. So a lot of things that that I could have stopped. I could have just left it alone and let my feelings take control, but I didn't. I kept persevering, and shout out to perseverance, man, because it'll make a man out of you. It'll form your character, and I'm proud to say that I'm going to be a college graduate. Yeah, nah.
Congratulations.
That's honestly, man, that's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, you've been through a lot too as well. And
man.
Of course, I thought some players go out to everybody here in the chat, but of course to you too as well. A1, you've done it, man. You've gotten to the point now where next week, once again, man, the congratulations and the shout outs go to you, sir. Terry, I don't even know if we can go on and talk Falcons football now. I don't know how.
Man, we got to talk the Falcons football now, man. We got to do that.
Fans in the chat are live. Fans in the chat are lit. T-Will, how you doing over there, sir?
I don't know, man. I think I hear Whitney Houston's I Didn't Know My Own Strength playing in the background, but hey, let's cue up the band. No, man, let me tell you something. That is a definite accomplishment. Yeah. It deserves to be celebrated. Chris, congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
I've done a few shows with you. You are definitely a bright talent, articulate young man, going somewhere, driven. And let me tell you something, to the young folks out there, that's what it takes, sir. It takes resilience. It takes characters. Sometimes you got to get up when you don't feel like getting. Sometimes you got to go out when you don't feel like facing folks. Sometimes you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that is what it takes. And, hey, I'm going to celebrate you, sir. So good morning. I'm doing well. God woke me up this morning. I have no complaints, Brother Jack. Ready to talk some Falcon football. So let's get to it.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Chris, you've been here not only on the podcast before, but you had a podcast. You was live last night with some Falcon fans talking Falcons football. This is 24/7 for you, Chris.
Hey, man, the thing about it is this is what I'm dedicating my life to. So, opportunities when they come about, I can't just turn them down, especially if I have time. Of course, schedules, may be conflicting. But if I have time, man, like I said, I don't mind talking Falcon football, Hawks basketball, Braves baseball, whatever, man. It's just, hey, just holler at me. That's all you got to do.
Love it.
Falcon fans in the chat, hit the like, share, and subscribe button, not only for us here at One Time for the Fan, but of course over there at A1 Forever too as well. We will post a link in the chat for A1's content, so you guys can go check him out. Social media will be in the description. Rise up content creators. We've done some content already with the Falcons, pretty much podcast community before. We're going to continue doing some more content coming up in the next couple of weeks here. 95 North in the chat, Smooth's in the chat, Deshaun's in the chat. I mean, we woke some people this morning, Chris. Terry, we woke some folks. Rise up.
Rise up.
One Time for the Fan. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcon Friday. Chris, you got to love that, man.
Oh, yeah,
Falcon
man.
fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. 95 North said, good morning, fellas. One day closer to schedule release.
Hey,
that's right, Berto.
I can't wait for it, man, so I can really start planning out my summer, my spring, my summer, my fall, and my winter.
Hey, it's going down in a major way. For those that love to travel, a lot of times you kind of wait for the Falcon schedule to drop because some people don't want to plan certain dates, because if you're flying into Atlanta for a home game, or if you're flying away for an away game, you might have to, change your schedule a little bit, rebook some things. So I know for me, I do a lot of my traveling in the summer and the spring, but of course, when it comes to the fall, I have to wait for the Falcon schedule, right? Because I got to make some moves that definitely revolves around the fucking Falcon schedule. So I see the Rise Up Tour hashtag too as well. Berto is also a new member of the Rise Up Tour fan club. Big shout out to Berto, man. We are in the building. He's going back. This is second year. This is Berto's second year being with the Rise Up Tour fan club. So we got a lot going on. Of course, we're going to be in Vegas this year. We're going to be in Denver, Washington, Philly, Minnesota, and of course our rivals too as well. Philip Crawford's in the chat with the one-time emoji.
One time.
Chat is live and lit. I'm telling you right now, man. It's gonna be difficult to get all the comments and chatted up with A1 this morning because we have some things to talk about. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. Michael's in the chat with the one time.
That boy Mike. Shout out to him. Hey man, Mike be on a lot of people's lives, man. Shout out to him.
Oh yeah, Mike's a real one. Yeah, Mike's a real one, man. He comes in here talking Falcons football. You know how we do it most of the time, where we do put the comments on the screen and we do talk to fans a lot. And we do welcome Falcon fans to be a part of the podcast too at times. But Michael sometimes agrees and sometimes he disagrees. And I saw him in the chat the other night going back and forth with a couple of fans about his opinion and their opinions. But at the end of the day, we're all Falcon fans. We're all gonna win. Like we're gonna be a fucking Centennial. We're gonna be down there at fucking Peachtree. We're gonna be partying. We're gonna win this Super Bowl in a couple of years, Falcon fans. Hell, it could be this year. When we do, everybody's gonna be down there. Everybody. Come on, Falcon fans. Carrie's in the chat with the Falcons fam. Let's go, Carrie.
Hey, shout out to her.
Hey.
Happy Friday, everyone, from Carrie.
Yes. Indeed.
Funeral services in the chat.
Yo, funeral services, what's good? Hey, he's definitely not changing that name. Smitty, might as well forget about it.
Big shout to Smitty too as well. Big shout to everybody here in the chat. The congratulations are starting to pour in for Chris too as well. So we got to catch up to the chat.
Hey, man.
We're gonna talk about football. Put the comments on the screen of the congratulations 20 hours later. Juice Master Chris. Is there a story behind this, Juice Master?
Yeah,
there's no story behind Juice Master Chris. It's just Berto being Berto. Where's my phone, as a matter of fact?
Well, Berto going live, you gotta check your text messages because Berto's definitely.
I have your number, sir.
Big shout out to Berto in the chat. Carrie is in the chat. Wow, congratulations, Chris. That's amazing. That's amazing and a huge achievement, my friend. Who was in the chat? Frank Dank TV's in the chat. Said Uncle Terry, Skynet and $1,000 if the Falcons don't make it to the Super Bowl this year. What? Uncle Terry?
Satacana.
It's going down in a major way. Philip Crawford. Can y'all imagine the talent we will have to cut? We will have starters on the practice squad. A1, your thoughts on Philip Crawford's comment about not only this roster being so packed and deep with talent, but we're going to cut some pretty good guys this year that's not going to be able to make the 53. And then the practice squad is going to have some guys where other teams going to be like, shit, the Falcons loaded over there. We finna stack on some of their players. Your thoughts on that?
Believe that. No, I'm saying I fully believe that. We have about 86, 87 players right now or something like that.
Yeah.
So we still got to fill out the roster. And It's really true, man. If you really think about it, we have some good talent, especially in the undrafted free agent area. We have some talent, man. So, and it's gonna be some guys that was on this team last year. They may get outshined. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they really may get outshined, and then we may see some people that was on this team that may have been actually contributors
Mm-hmm.
be on the practice squad or on other teams just because guys are so good. But to me, that's a good problem to have because I want the best of the best on the field for the Atlanta Falcon faithful because we deserve it. Whoever the
Man.
best players are, I don't care about names. You know, I don't get me wrong. We can have players that we like.
Mm-hmm.
We have players that we're interested in that we'll love to see make it. Of course, we want to see all these guys make it, but we know that's impossible. So
Mm-hmm.
put the best players on the field. We always talking about best player available. Let's put the best players available in this OTAs and in training camp on the field for the Atlanta Falcons so we can go and take off, man. It's just cut and dry for me right there. Best players on the field. Yes, we will have some people on the practice squad, and hopefully we'll be able to keep some of those guys. And if things go array, then we can bring those guys up, plug and play.
T, Will, you hearing what A1 is saying right there about the Falcons roster, and I mean, there are going to be some players that's going to not make the 53. We all know that. Might be some fan favorites who some fans might be relying on to say, hey, this guy could possibly be something in the future that might not make the 53. But T, Will, this team is going to be stacked this year. And you heard what A1 said, and that was it's kind of tough to follow up on what he said, man. He A1 came in here fired at 9 o'clock in the morning, man. I got to say, A1 is talking Falcons football, man. This is what I love to hear as a Falcon fan because it's getting you ready for the season. T. Will, your thought about what Philip is saying right here with this question about the talent that we have to cut and what the practice squad could look like.
I think it's spot on. It's spot on. You probably will see a few holdovers from last year not make it. Good morning, Miss Lisa, and I saw my little brother in there. Good morning, LBB. Yeah, no. You probably will have some folks that are either in other teams or not in our camp, just because we have made so many additions, specifically along the defensive line. I think you may see one or two from last year not make it. It just depends on the scheme, how they want to deploy it. But, pretty much every time there's a new regime change, there's a player from the previous regime that maybe doesn't fit what you do scheme-wise. And these things happen. So it wouldn't surprise me. But like you guys say, best players available. We are trying to not only hit new heights and win the NFC South, but we are trying to make a deep run in the playoffs. And the only way you're going to do that is to have the best 53 available. So I say, bring it on. Let's get to it, man. It's just step one on our journey. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, and let's identify who's the biggest, baddest, and best, and go with that. So those are my thoughts, Jack. What say you, sir?
For Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. A1 Forever here talking Falcons football with us. I talked about the competition battles a couple weeks ago before the draft. But as we get closer to camp, the competition battle is going to be heating up. Like who's going to be the cornerback 2 here on the team, who's going to follow with that with cornerback 3 and so forth, how they're going to go on the roster, who's going to be the safety besides Jesse Bates. Is it going to be Richie Grant? Are they going to bring in another safety? Of course, the depth on the offensive line too as well. Like who's going to be playing backups to the starters that we know is Chris Lindstrom, Dahlman, McGarry, and so forth. But the wide receiver role too as well. I mean, they did mention that Mooney and Rondell Moore. I mean, they don't have a certified number 2 right now. So there are going to be some competition battles at camp that's going to be actually interesting to watch. You've seen some of these videos and some of these pictures of some of the players out there right now with their workouts. And I'm just prepared for this season, man. Like I am so ready to get out here as a fan and rep these Falcons, man. Because look at this. It's 9-something in the morning. Fans are up. I don't know if they're on the way to work. I don't know if they're sitting in traffic. I don't know if they're just sitting at the house. But Chris, fans are in here talking Falcons football. They're excited about what this season could present. Terry,
yes, they should be.
They should. I mean, Falcon fans, we have a team to be proud of this year. I think Raheem and Terry is doing a great job putting some names in the locker room. I think fans are going to be definitely energized about this season, right? Especially with the rookies. Now the draft class, Chris. Let's get to that.
Okay.
Let's get to this draft class. But quickly, before we do, going over some of these players that the Falcons did draft, what are your thoughts about the Falcons trying to trade back up into the first round after selecting Michael Penix? I mean, you saw the video with I think the Jets GM, I think that was Joe Douglas or whoever that was. That was making his rounds, of course, in the Falcons community, because you heard that the Falcons were trying to get active after Michael Penix. They tried to trade back up, but to call damn near every team to try to trade back up, like if it was Latu that was going for, if it was a pass rusher, if it was a cornerback, I mean, you got to give it up to Terry for at least trying, right?
I mean, the thing about it is, if you got to give at least something for effort, trying to, because the Falcons were fully aware of the possibility of if they take one player, the other one is not going to be there. So it was a great possibility, but I believe it was a more stronger possibility of Penix not being there more so than Latu, because you've seen how the board was going. Quarterbacks were dropping. The board really, until Malik Neighbors, for me, really kind of went exactly how I would think it may went. I know it was either going to be wide receiver or a tackle for the Chargers. So when they took Joe off, I was like, well, okay. And then Malik Neighbors made sense for the Giants. Then you're getting closer to the Falcons. You just seeing
Big JC was picked too.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. JC, I mean, whatever the Titans want to do, they want to do. But
that's a Titan thing, I guess.
Hey, that's not my problem. But when you get to 8, you just like, okay, we just know we're going defense. Or really, I was waiting for a trade back. I was sitting there waiting to see for the Falcons to trade back. We didn't trade back. You got to have a dance partner in order to do it. So we didn't have the dance partner. We took the quarterback. And at first, of course, everybody's shocked. But you got to understand where the Falcons are trying to be. And from a positive standpoint, they don't plan on being here in this predicament to even take a quarterback, at least for the next 5 years. So if Kirk Cousins pans out, we're not going to be in the top 10. So we, but as far as getting back to your questions about trading back, I mean, trying to trade back into the first round, I honestly believe that after we took Michael Penix, everybody looked and said, what? Oh, no, we're not trading with you at all. I don't believe that any team was going to trade with us. I could be wrong about that because, maybe teams are starting to kind of get set in the player that they want. But honestly, after Penix, especially trying to get back into that teams, you were dead. You were dead in the water. And, you might have made some teams upset. Let's just be honest. You might have made some teams upset. Oh, man, they're going to take Michael Penix. They already got a quarterback. What they doing? People get mad. People get in their feelings, man. And, it's a possibility that teams were just like, we're not going to work with you. Now, I truly believe some teams were setting the guy that they was going to get, and some teams were just like, we're not going to work with you. Enjoy Penix. And that's cool, too.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I mean, just to hear that after we selected Michael Penix, that teams were trying to trade up to get him. I mean, for Falcon fans, I know how you guys kind of feel about the pick with Penix. But then again, if the Saints would have got Michael Penix, some of y'all would have hated that shit for the next couple of years. Right?
Bro,
there are some fans
and they tried to trade up.
They tried to get Michael Penix too. But Terry, we talked about this.
Please say that one more time for the people in the background, Jack. They don't realize what team was trying to get him.
Yes. The team that tried to set up for their future too as well, behind Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr is probably not going to be their future. After this year, Derek Carr could probably take them to the playoffs. He's probably out of there too as well. Right? They're going to go with, I see Spencer Rattler's the guy that they went with. But if they had the chance to get Michael Penix, they would have went and took Michael Penix. And Terry, we talked about this. How many teams needed quarterbacks? And how many quarterbacks were available? But Raheem also talked about this too. He's here. Remember his first press conference being here? He's here because of bad quarterback. So now that you get a quarterback for now and a quarterback for the future, I mean, you do have to kind of like what you see here with the Falcons. I mean, they're setting up for success. If they win now with Kirk, and of course after Kirk, they can win with Michael Penix. But then to hear, of course, Michael Penix being one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, I mean, you didn't lose on that. Best player available was, if outside of Caleb Williams was probably Michael Penix. people wasn't talking about the injuries and all that stuff in the national championship game. He played well during college.
He did.
And I have no problem with him being developed behind Kirk Cousins and Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, because that wasn't the plan with Desmond Ridder and whatever they had in the past. So new regime, new things going forward. You just got to roll with it.
I know y'all heard the reports too about them trying to move up to 2 or possibly 3 as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they were quarterback hunting the whole time behind the scenes, whether we knew it, had a glimpse of it, or whatever. It's just they was already quarterback hunting. And if they would have moved up to 2, I already know it wasn't going to be Penix. I feel like it was going to be Jaden Daniels at number 2. And that was a quarterback who I was on. I was never talking about Penix. I seen Penix and everything, but of course, anybody that was following me knew that I was on the Jaden Daniels train, and I just wouldn't go off. That thing had been derailed, and I'm still trying to put it back on the track. So, regardless, though, the point is they were quarterback hunting the whole time, and you really can't be mad considering the fact that what we've had. We tried to get Deshaun, didn't get that, lost Matt Ryan. So we tried to get a side chick, didn't get the side chick, and lost the main at the same time. Now we going in and out of relationships for the next couple of years, trying to figure out that one for us. That's pretty much what you had going on with the Atlanta Falcons.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T. Will, any comment to that?
Well, you know what? I have to give Terry and the office credit for not capitulating to the demand, for going with their vision and what they know they're trying to do. Let me tell you something. Popular opinion is not always the right way. You do not know the future. You do not know the coaching style that we plan to employ going forward. And you do not know the draft picks that we are going to lose next year. Nobody's really talking about that. Some people are like, oh, well, it's a 4th, it's a 5th. You don't know what it's going to be. Number one, the NFL was embarrassed by that interview with Kirk Cousins. They are going to let us know it. So we could lose a 1st round next year. We could lose a 2nd round next year. It could be a situation where next year, where even if there is a quarterback, we can't sniff him, because what we'd have to give up is so severe, it's not worth it. So sometimes you have to consider other mitigating factors when looking at a move in a different light, right? I mean, again, we were all on the show, we were all shocked. But now that I've had a chance to sit with it, I understand it, I can appreciate it, and I hope it bodes well. But we have our quarterback of today. We have our quarterback from for the future. And Falcon fans, I'm talking to every one of you. Please ignore these major sports analysts who continue to beat this like a drum.
They will continue to do it. Most of them said they're going to say it during the season. They're going to say it during the bye week. They're going to continue to say it.
They're going to continue the next year. But the main thing is, look, man, most of these folks don't care about your Falcons. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to make that bonus so they can buy that home on the villa, all while getting you upset. Most of these pundits don't even know 30 of the 53 on our team. It is not about anybody but these ATL Falcons. It's not about
much complaints from our journalists, our community of Falcon.
Not about that, right,
bro. Correct. If you
not
go to Google and type in Michael Penix,
oh, it's everywhere.
Oh my God,
it's everywhere. I saw
I don't think Michael Penix
sports.
And I don't think the Falcons have ever had this much publicity at the same time in ever.
Sheesh.
Bro.
Yeah.
We are everywhere. Penix is everywhere. Cousins is everywhere. It's just it's narratives that they're going to build, and I agree with you.
The narrative.
Do not fall into it. They're going to try to hammer everything they can into us to divide us.
Yeah.
They never want us in unity. They never want Falcon fans in unity.
They don't.
They always trying to divide us. Don't let them divide us by the things that they're saying. I understand someone might make good points or whatever. Like these gentlemen up above me are saying, do not fall into it.
I'm not doing it.
Do not.
I'm not.
Correct.
Terry, you
Correct.
made a post the other day, and a lot of Falcon fans responded to your post, and I mean, you were right. I mean, you're gonna hear this stuff every single day, but then you hear it from some of the bigger journalists too as well, where they're even saying it. Oh, we're gonna talk about this. Oh, we're gonna talk about it today, tomorrow, up until camp, even after an interception. If the Falcons lose, if Kurt has a bad game, they're gonna talk about it because we made the selection. But I talked to somebody the other day at my job, where he was talking about his future, right? He's talking about 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And I'm sitting there listening to it. And I'm like, damn, that sounded like what the Falcons just did. They're trying to prepare for their future, right? Everybody here in the chat is even preparing for their future, right? In 2 years, you want to be better, right? You want to be more successful than you were this year, right? Or however you want to do it, however your plan is. But the Falcons see success in Kirk, and they see success in, oh, shit, I'm about to go ahead and go Kendrick Lamar in here real quick. The Falcons see. Oh, he just dropped another diss track too, Chris. Apparently he just went crazy on Drake again. So he's going 2 for 2. He think he's going back for back right now. He just dropped another diss track on Drake. But
oh man,
I
got something to find after the show.
I mean, yeah, we definitely have to go listen to that. But yeah, for the fans here in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That's just the way that the Falcons wanted to go, man. That's their route. And if it was, I didn't have my eggs in one basket on an edge rusher or a cornerback. I had a draft board, right? And that was Michael Penix was on the draft board. We talked about it, Terry, for weeks, right? But we was just shocked that Falcons actually went that route. But now I understand it. But then I didn't go to the bins for the draft night, for the draft party.
Right.
But Country told me that there was a draft board at the bins. And they was getting fans to go over there and try to select who they want to, I guess, for the Falcons to select with the number 8 pick.
Fact.
And every name was on that draft board, but Michael Penix, apparently. So just hearing that was like, holy shit! Like Falcon fans showed up to the draft party, going to that board over there to select either Joe All or Romy or who else, Dallas Turner or Jared Verse. But Michael Penix's name was not even on that board. And then to hear about the Falcons pull Kirk Cousins away, when they was out there, he was out there doing the pictures and the autographs that morning. I mean, that evening before they made the pick when they called him. I mean, that's the Falcons move, man. That's what they want to do. I'm all for it.
I honestly, let me tell you something, man. There are so many variables that come into play. Number one, Raheem is big on coaching people up. That is a big pillar in his organization of foundations to succeed. He and Mike Tomlin both believe in coaching people up. And what that means is, let's say you have an edge rusher that runs past everybody, but his technique leaves something to desired as far as his hands and hand placement and push and firing off the ball. Well, according to Raheem's school of thought, according to Mike Tomlin's school of thought, you don't just let that guy sit there. You develop him. Develop him. Look at what he did with the Rams last year. They basically had a new unit on defense. There were a couple of stars, i.e. Aaron Donald, but for the most part, they were a new defense, and they rounded them into shape. They played well. So in the back of his mind, right, coming to this job, you already had Drake. You already had Kyle. You already had Bijan. You already had Algier, right? They clearly saw, okay, let's build this offense up, which is what they did. Guys, this offense could be a juggernaut. We could come out firing, scoring 35, 40 points. So Raheem is in his infinite wisdom is like, okay, especially after the Kirk snafu, we've built up this offense. We don't know if we'll be here again. If you look at the quarterbacks for 2025, there's a dearth of talent. And no disrespect to them, but it ain't what this year's quarterback class will be. It's just not. You might have a few stars, but it's not. So you look at that. You look at the fact that you may lose one, right? And the greater need, because quarterback, let's be real, quarterback is the most important position on the field.
And
Right?
And
Falcons
one
had
of the
the
most
bad quarterback
expensive too.
positions.
Correct.
Yeah, most expensive,
And
but
one of
being in
the
a
most
bad
expensive.
position the past 2 years,
Correct.
they
Correct.
pretty much got quarterbacks that they needed going forward for the next 2, 3, 4 years. That's good.
Look at the
Correct.
49ers. You think they're ready to play Purdy right now? You think they enjoy that rookie deal?
They're enjoying the rookie deal.
That's
They're
Damn, man.
definitely enjoying it. They're
Let's
enjoying
talk
it.
about it.
But you look at it, and more than likely they said, look, if I got to choose one, let's go with the future because I'm not going to be Arthur here in 3 years. I want to make sure I'm good. And the prevailing thought was probably, we already have some defensive stars. We've talked about this. We got Grady, we got David, we got Jesse, we got the entire linebacking core. We have stars on our defense. The rookies that we draft, we can coach them up.
Right.
And the other thing is, just because you got Dallas Turner or Latu or Vert, that doesn't mean you were going to get into the Super Bowl with or without them. So when you look at it, right, and sometimes you have to see the total view, right? You got to shift the angle, right? You got to shift the scope of that camera so you can see the total view. I completely understand the move. Chris, I'm gonna defer to you, sir. I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox this morning.
No, we're talking
no.
Falcons football.
Hey,
this is
man,
what it's
you
about.
talking Falcons football,
But
and you
hey.
saying a lot of the things that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because for one, we don't know the draft pick that's going to be taken from us, which I believe is probably going to come after the schedule release sometime too. Sometime right after that, I believe. Because why keep prolonging it? Let's just find out what it's going to be, what it's going to be, and what it ain't going to be.
And they're talking about it right now on NFL Network right now. As we're
see what I'm saying?
Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. The draft is your look at the future, and you have to look at the big picture. Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris. So as we're talking about this, they're talking about it right now.
That's what I'm saying, though, bro. You have to look at the big picture. If we're a playoff team, we're not drafting in the top 10, top 15. Correct. Then if we happen to get a first round draft pick taken from us next year, if we didn't take a quarterback and if we possibly needed a quarterback, it's unavailable if a first rounder is taken, which Terry has already said. Quarterback is looking real scarce next year. It is. The thing about it is Carson Beck may be the best quarterback coming out of next year's class, possibly. You know,
don't forget if Kirk goes down, you got to bring in Taylor Heineke. You know these fans,
and I'm not real willing to do that. I will be I will go on record and say that, and no disrespect to Taylor because he's from the A, and I respect that. But at the same time, as far as what you're putting out there on the field, nah, man, I don't need that. I've seen that already. I've seen that in Washington, and honestly, it feel like you got worse when you came here. Now I don't know if that's all Arthur Smith. Or, you know, so if that's some kind of dynamics changing within you, maybe you got to try to learn the system. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the Washington Taylor did not come to Atlanta, if that make any sense. And then, guys,
you got to understand,
I don't want to go through that again. Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ridder, Marcus Murray. I don't want to go through any of those side pieces again. Get me the main thing. Make the main thing the main thing. We got quarterback. We've doubled up and tripled up on that position.
Yep.
We have 4 quarterbacks in the room right now.
Yep.
So I'm just saying they're making sure that they're not going to ever go through this again. And I'm not mad at them for it because what I was mad at was no succession plan, was going after those big fish, missing, and then you left with nothing. Y'all want to continue to be left with nothing? I don't.
No.
Chris coming here spitting facts. Real quick, I want to go through the chat too as well. Dre Harrison's in the chat. How many of the draft picks do you see having an impact year one, Chris?
I would say Trice. I'm going to go Trice. I'm going to go Dorless. I'm very, very heavy on Dorless, and my brother Berto in the chat is as well. We've definitely been on that guy. Dorless, you can put him anywhere on the line. He's played some nose tackle, some D tackle. He's played on the edge. Most of his time has been spent on the edge, about 44% of his snaps, and 43% of his snaps have been at defensive tackle. So at the same time, and then the rest of it is at nose tackle. That guy, you can move him along the line anywhere. Trice, I believe that rotation is going to be crazy. Look at all the defensive players we have. That rotation, we're going to be subbing guys in and out, and we're going to keep them fresh, keep them coming. I'm with it. They're already mostly young guys, so their motor is going to continue to be constant. That's what I'm looking for. So I expect, like I said, Dorless, Trice. I think Aurora is going to be able to do some things because his body language, and shout out to Ryan, the historian, for pointing this out. Because after he said it, it kind of like clicked right in my mind immediately about his motions and movement. He moves kind of like John Randall. And I know he's raw. That's the thing, too. He didn't even start playing until his junior year in high school.
That's true.
He's still a raw player, and he's still growing. And I believe that they're banking on that production because every year, one thing that stayed consistent about Aurora, he had at least 8 tackles for losses. Yep. Yes, please. You know what I'm saying? And then his sack totals, little by little, went up as well, too. So maybe, just maybe, he is learning the game. No, I did not want to trade one of our picks from out of the top 150. Not at all. And if we did trade up, it was guys there that technically could have been better. But we're going to see exactly what happened. They seen something in Aurora. Looking at his tape, you can see some flashes and some glimpses. Only thing that all Falcon fans, and I believe all Falcon fans can agree to this, we just want all these guys to transition and translate around over to the NFL and produce for this team, especially if you're trading up for them, because we got second-round picks that's on this team right now that we're looking for something from in this coming season. Talking to you, Doctor of all sacks, talking to you, Troy Anderson. I know you coming out for injury. I'm just saying, we got guys. Shoot, Richie Grant, he's probably still going to be on this team, even though I totally disagree, but he's cheap and he was a second rounder. So I need guys to step up, man.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T-Will, an impact that you think some of these players will make year one, I mean, with the rookie, with the draft class. Falcons brought in some guys I think is they're talented, right? And we got to trust their draft board compared to our draft board because their draft board is way better than ours. But the players that they did bring in, I think is going to be a good fit. And of course, you've seen what Terry has done in the past with these draft picks. I mean, your 6th rounders and your seventh rounders were played too as well. Like you see the success of DeMarco Hellams even last season. And then this year, I'm looking at the guys that we drafted in the 5th and 6th round. Like, these guys are definitely going to get a shot to play. Terry, who do you think is going to make a major impact right now for the Falcons this year with that rookie draft class?
I like Trice. As Chris said, I do like Dorless. I do like Rook. I'm just going to call him Rook. Sorry.
So sometimes I call him Rut Roll. You know what I'm saying?
Reggie.
Right.
I like Rook. I think, contingent upon where you play him, he may have to put on a little weight, but I like Rook. I like the running back from Alabama. I like them all. They all at some point in time may make a difference, may impact the game. I don't think you drafted anybody to sit. One thing about Terry Fontenot, he's not wasteful. So there is a chance that all of these players can see the field. Some special teams, some not, but specifically for our scheme, I'm going to say the greatest chance you see a player of having an impact is going to be on that defensive line. Yep. We drafted 4 of them. So, for my money, that's where that's going to be. Penix is probably going to see the field this year. I don't know at what frequency. But if I gotta make a choice, I'm gonna say one of the 4 defensive linemen. Don't forget the big fella that we took from Georgia that looks like a run stopper. So hey, I'm thinking the defensive line, and hey, I'm here for it. I think we're gonna get after some folks. I think we're gonna stop some folks. Again, guys, we were not a barren desert last year. This was not the Serengeti where you look out on the plains and but animals in cow dung. What are cows doing on the Serengeti? I know, but I'm being descriptive. The point is, we already had superstars on that defensive line. We already had, I believe, Ellis, Landman, Troy Anderson, maybe one of the best linebacking cores, other than San Francisco. And I know that's saying a lot, but that's a good linebacking core. Right. That's a good linebacking core. We did add JT Bergeron. We obviously got Jesse Bates, who, in my opinion, right now is the best safety in football. You got
right.
AJ.
You
You
got a
got
couple
some
top
stars,
5, top 10
right?
players on your team right
Correct.
now.
Correct.
Then you
You
got
got
wide
some stars.
receivers too. You
Mm-hmm.
got
Yeah.
wide
Oh, you got
receivers.
you got
Casey
wide receivers
Washington.
in droves.
Rondo Moore.
Right. Casey
Yeah.
Washington. Don't sleep on Isaiah Woodring
Yep.
from
Isaiah
Southern
Woodring. I was
Utah.
listening to the podcast with you guys last night too, as well. So I had to go and do some more research on the undrafted free agent that the Falcons just brought in.
Hey,
Isaiah
Holmes
Woodring.
Holmes. Let me tell you
So
about that
some was saying
Woodring.
that he
What
may
I
take a
seen,
roster spot.
bro. When I seen last night,
Falcon
all
fans in
these
the chat,
guys who
listen
were
to
on
Chris
these
now. What is
1-year
it, Chris?
deals.
Isaiah Woodring.
Yes, Isaiah Woodrum, one of these guys who are on these 1-year deals and stuff like that. This guy can possibly come in and take their spot next year.
Mm-hmm.
All these 1-year guys, y'all better play, because guys like Woodring, guys like Washington has strong hands. He had a quarterback who is not sorry, because he's on our team as well
They
right
brought
now
in the
too.
Illinois quarterback too as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My thing is, imagine Michael Penix throwing to Washington.
Yeah.
Or Kirk Cousins throwing to Washington.
Mhm.
Washington was used to be moved to move the chains. He was a
Yeah.
chain mover, but he can be so much more than that. Woodring, like, you can put, man, Woodring, that guy's speed and him getting off the line is just crazy. It was bedtime every time for the DB, every time facing him in those highlights. So I'm just saying, like, it's guys on this team going back to the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And your point, Jack, we got players on this team that may be on the practice squad. We got players on this team that was here last year that new guys may come in and beat out.
Mhm.
But that's a good problem to have.
Great problem to have.
You know,
a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
Too much talent.
Compared to 2021, at the Mats last year, we kind of was like, hey, Mary, you want to play? We going to Publix. Hey, dude, you know what I'm saying? I like the way how you lifting them boxes. You trying to play?
So here's the good thing about it. We want
bro.
fans to feel good about this season, and of course, what the Falcons could do. Let's not forget about what Kirk Cousins can do, like stat-wise, right?
Yes.
You put him here on the Falcons, and we're going to get to this. Matter of fact, I got to put this up here. So let's go ahead and just – sorry, draft class. We're done with the draft class for now. Got to put this up. The big shout to Bobby D, Blazing Games in the chat. He said, what's good, family? Good morning. New to the channel. Y'all spitting.
Hey,
hit
man,
that like, share, and subscribe button, not only here at One Time for the Fan, but head on over to A1 Forever and hit that like, share, and subscribe button too as well. We have a lot of other content creators in the chat too as well. So big shout out to all the Falcon fans here. That's up early in the morning talking Falcons football. We got some West Coast fans here in the chat too as well.
Hey,
I think the sun just went up over there. So big shout out to all our West Coast Falcon fans here in the chat.
Definitely drinking their coffee.
Sheesh. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. Let me see. Break this one down here. You got to see this one, Chris. I know you saw it, man. I know you saw it. So I'm just going ahead and bring it up here. Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins, man. We got to talk about this. I know I sent the topics this morning, but when that video came out yesterday of Kirk Cousins, I said, bro.
Yeah, you got to throw it in.
We got to go ahead and talk about this. We're Falcon fans talking Falcons football. Let's get straight to it, man. I know y'all see it. I know you see it. I know you see it. I know you see it.
You see it. Oh, my bad. I was with you, Jack.
Falcon fans, hit that like. I mean, you can go ahead. You can crank it up right now if you want. Let's go.
Hey,
shit. Falcon fans, we talking Falcons football here. I know you see it, Falcon fans. That's the boy Kirk Cousins, man. That's the boy. Matter of fact, he looked like me a little bit, Terry. I mean, my spiral is pretty good too as well. I mean, I throw a good football too as well. But I mean, Kirk, you're doing a good job out there already, man.
80 on the run? I hear you.
I mean, he's not on the run. Right? He's in the pocket, but I would throw an 80 on the run easy. Chris, I know you see it.
That's the legend.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm glad to see him out there on the field. Looking at, his feet and everything like that. I mean, it's a really easy throw, to be honest with you. There's nobody coming at you, really, like, no pressure. Just, it was pretty simple, but it's good to see him on the field. It's good to see him out there with the players, man, and trying to get, acclimated and trying to get some mesh going on, man, with these guys. So I'm happy to see it. I'm just looking at his feet more so than his arm.
His base.
Feet placement.
His base.
Yeah, that's all. That's really what I care about right now. I mean, his arm is always
he was standing at the Braves game when he threw the baseball, and it was like, oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. A week and a half later, there goes Kirk Cousins out there on the Falcons football field.
And understand that throwing a pitch and throwing a football are two fundamentally totally different things. And Kirk Cousins is not a pitcher, right? But he is a quarterback. So fundamentally, even if you look in there, you see him setting his base before the throw. He's not throwing off his back foot. He's positioning his hands correctly. His shoulders are aligned and where they need to be. And it looks like that ball and that route are on time. 1, 2,
he's
3.
A quarterback.
Bam. There you go.
He's an elite processor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're getting that this season, an elite processor, let's get off the Michael Penix now. Let's get to the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
This guy can take you to the playoffs. This guy can take you to, I mean, if you want to go down the long road here, once you punch your ticket to the playoffs, anything can happen. And I think with this type of team, with that type of quarterback, with our type of system that's getting ready to be put out here, I'm all for what can happen here. I'm ready to go down the long road with these Falcons. I want to play in late January. I want to play in late January. I want to get to February.
And you could. Because let me tell you something. The league hasn't seen this year's Falcons, right? You've seen last year's players. They haven't seen this year's Falcons. They haven't seen this year's scheme. They haven't seen how we deploy that scheme. They haven't seen this year's tendencies. They haven't seen Zach Robinson's tendencies or Jimmy Lake's tendencies. Because everything up until September, whatever the first game is rumor and innuendo until we start that first game.
And good catch by Mooney, too. Look like me out there.
Jack, everybody look like you, bro.
I'm just saying, I mean, I did play a little bit of wide receiver, too. So. No, I'm just playing. But Falcon fans, when they chat,
Landman out there looking like Jack, too, going after the pursuit, too.
Shit. I saw some comments of people saying, who left Mooney open? Who is that? He's getting cut. Like, come on, man. Like,
no, they didn't do that, man.
We're not doing that. We can't do that.
I got a quick question just because of looking at this. It just came about the fact that we don't necessarily technically have a guaranteed cement in stone number 2. Could that be a good thing for the Atlanta Falcons, though? Because that means the ball may get spread around a little bit more. You may see guys like Moore and Mooney and, Hodge making more plays than just staring down, let's say, Drake London or Bijan Robinson. I say that because everything is just surrounded around the Packers, it seemed like, with the Atlanta Falcons right now and the moves that they're making. And they technically don't have like a true number 1 out there. You could possibly say Romeo Doubs. But looking at all their receivers, they got a bunch of young guys, and they just slinging the ball around. Whoever's open, that's who gets it. So
that's a good question. And Terry, I know you talked about this too as well a couple of days ago. That's why you brought up Marvin Harrison, if he was to drop the 8, because I know you was probably looking for your number 2 right there, receiver. Or even Falcon fans that had a wide receiver that they wanted to select in the draft so they can say, oh, we have a proven number 2. But here with Kirk Cousins, everybody's going to eat. You're talking about a 4,000-yard passer. So everybody can eat. So we don't know who the number 2 would be. But my boy Bodie, if he was in here, he would say, Kyle Pitts is your number 2. I don't care how you look at it.
I mean, number 2 target, he's correct.
Yeah.
The
target should be flowing to Drake a lot. With you, I mean, I like how Kurt was talking about Kyle Pitts, and that's cool. But I think Drake is still your number 1. I mean, you gotta feed Drake a lot. And after that, Rondo Moore, I think, is going to eat a lot too as well if he's healthy. Mooney too as well. I mean, Kirk Cousins did ask for Mooney when he was a free agent. Like these are the guys you're asking for, and some of the coaches wanted Mooney too as well because he fits the system that they want. And Chris, like you said, maybe it is a good thing. But Kyle Pitts is going to eat.
Oh yeah,
Bijan Robinson is going to eat, but that run game is going to be stupid because you have to use that run game to help Kirk Cousins a little bit more. Right, because
Robinson may be like Todd Gurley a couple of years.
It's going to be crazy out there, but then you can use him in a system where he's going to be out with Kyle Pitts. You're going to use him in that system that you wanted last year with Arthur Smith, but the play caller was shot. Right, so now you get it with Zach Robinson. Terry?
Yeah, I think it's a great thing that you don't have a number 2 right now. Some of the best and most talented and heralded offenses, the ball was spread around, right? Let's think about the greatest show on turf. The Rams from 99 up until basically 2003, 2004, right? You had Isaac Bruce, Azir Hakim, Marshall Falk, A couple other guys I can't think
Corey
about,
Holt,
but
Ricky
Corey
Pro.
Holt. Correct. That ball could go anywhere. And to your point, it's whoever was open, and that's what you want. That is what you want. Because guess what? You can't scheme for that. You can't double everybody, right? So in a perfect offense, in an ideal offense, if it can go from receiver 1 and you can progress to receiver 4 and you don't know who's getting it, how do you defend that? Right? What the best thing you can do for a defense is make them reactionary. Is make them from the start of the play. Okay, we got Kyle in the slot. We got Mooney over here. We got Drake. Oh, we got Bijan in the background. Oh my God, I didn't see Tyler Algier, right? All alone. Oh God, what are we doing? Okay, so yeah, I think it's great that you don't have a clear number 2 because in a 3rd and 5, you don't know where Kurt's going. And that's what you want to be. You don't want defenses to be able to predict where you're going in certain scenarios. So I think Chris is something. I think it's a great thing that we don't have a number 2.
I think you look at it last year too as well, Chris. We do have like 1 or 2 topics before we get up out of here. But I think if you look at last year or the year before that, the identity was kind of strange that other teams will come in here and know what we're doing. And it was like, oh, shit, this is going to be a tough game to get. Like, you knew Desmond Ridder last year wasn't throwing for 300 and 400 yards. He wasn't getting that. So most teams were like, we can shut down the run. And if he passes the ball, they're going to fuck up one way or the other. They're going to mess up.
They're going to give it to us.
They're going to give it to you one way or the other. And you saw that last year and the year before that. And even towards, the back end of Matt's career going down, some would say in a declining type of effort. But here with the Falcons this year with Kirk Cousins, you're going to get a guy that's going to get it out quickly, right? He's going to get the ball to the receivers. He's going to give it off to Bijan, Tyler. They're going to probably rush for 1,000. But you're going to win the games that you need to win. All those must-win games, I think you're going to win those this year. All those games that were supposed to be the easy games that you're supposed to win, those trap games, I think you're going to win those this year, right? Like you're going to play the Panthers again this year. You should definitely sweep them, right? You're going to play the Saints this year with that team that they're looking at. That team looks awful. You should probably sweep them too as well. Right? I mean, Tampa might give you a little fight, but I want to know by week 11, week 12, week 13 that we're going to the playoffs. I haven't felt that feeling in a long time.
Right.
I don't need to know down to week 16, week 17. I need this team to win. I need this team to lose. I need this team to lose, and we have to win. I don't want that feeling.
All this outside help that we be needing, man.
The good teams know by week 13, 14, hey, we're going to the playoffs.
Right.
We're good. We can lose the next 2 or 3 games. We're going to the playoffs. It doesn't matter.
But guys, you gotta remember, man, we was in that purgatory, man. We in a better situation, bro. Since Matt Ryan's last season, I'm including his last season, bro. 37 INTs, 35 fumbles, and you lost 22 of them. And people complaining about the Atlanta Falcons doubling and tripling down at quarterback. You darn right. Because all those turnovers were just from the quarterback position. I'm not talking about nothing that Bijan fumbled. I ain't talking about nothing that Drake fumbled. I'm just talking about strictly quarterbacks. And 37 interceptions is a whole lot in a couple of seasons. 35 fumbles, losing 22 of them. They going the other way. 22.
We talk about positive stuff here on the channel here, Chris. We talk about positive stuff. Now it's starting to hurt. Now it's starting to hurt.
I was just saying though, and people are mad at us about doubling and tripling down on a quarterback when we had that going on for our last couple of years.
Yeah,
it's crazy, bro.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Chris, you did talk about the roster too as well, about they're at like 85, 86 spots. And they could bring in a couple people too as well. There are some free agents that's available. And some Falcon fans are, they're a bit chatty about who the Falcons should bring in. Go bring another safety. Go get another cornerback. Go get another offensive lineman. Go get another guy in the trenches. Because they do have a couple spots open before that camp starts. Xavier Howard is a free agent.
That's tough.
Stephen Gilmore, of course, Justin Simmons, Jamal Adams, Hunter Renfrow, J.C. Jackson, Allen Robinson, Quadri Diggs, Eddie Jackson, Calais Campbell, who some fans were saying bring back too as well, Micah Hyde, Odell Beckham Jr., Dory Jackson, Steven Nelson. Anybody on this list surprising. I know Scott Kristick also talked about go get Othello Washington, I believe, too, as well. Falcons should look to bring him in. But anybody surprising you? Do you think the Falcons would bring in a veteran, or are they going to look to bring in probably a couple more undrafted guys, or how we looking? We got like 3 or 4 spots left.
If you do, I mean, well, first of all, it's still got to be some restructuring going on if we're talking about any of those guys that you just named coming in. Do I think they're going to restructure? I can't say no. I really can't say no. At first, I was like, man, they're not fit to do anything. We're kind of just going to go the undrafted route, the CFL route and everything. But I'm going to stay optimistic about that because I want Justin Simmons. I want to have the best safety duo in the NFL. It's talk about no fly zone back there for real. Having Jesse Bates with the comfort of mind of knowing that I got a guy guaranteed next to me that's going to go get the ball, that's a ball hawking, that knows how to play the game. It's not Richie Grant over there. Wait a minute, I can play even more fast and free. Wait a minute, are you serious? Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Calais is cool. But honestly, with this defensive line that we're bringing in,
they seem to be sound on what they got up front. And they're going to work those guys.
Dog. Yeah. And it's just like, honestly, we can have the voice. And Calais had a good year in the run game, especially in that run game last year. But let's just be honest, man. We can't bring back everybody. And we have to continue to get younger. We have to continue to have playmakers coming. So even though his voice and his presence in the locker room would be unmatched, you still do have Grady Jarrett coming back, who's going to be a voice. Who's going to be a leader of men. That's what I'm still seeing right there. So I would go get Justin Simmons. That's who I'm trying to bring in here. I'm trying to bring Justin Simmons here. I know Witherspoon, I believe, is still out there, who played for the Rams in their system, Johnson and whatnot as well for familiarity. But, man, if I can get Justin Simmons on this team and then maybe fill out the rest of the roster with a couple other guys who are looking for chances, I'm with it. Now, how do you guys feel about, so that Troy Hendrickson and everything? I know I've been hearing his name. It's people that's campaigning and trying to wield that Troy Hendrickson thing. So
that's a tough situation to deal with right now. Looking at this team, I mean, I figured they'll go after Calais Campbell, but then again, you bring in a guy like Hendrickson. I mean, it's a major impact. But we're talking about before the show started. Remember, Chris? I mean, when the show started, we were talking about players that some fans are going to hate to see go. Like, this roster's going to be stacked with talent.
It is.
We can bring in Calais Campbell. Imagine if Calais Campbell walks through the door today. Like, somebody's going to lose a job. Like, Calais Campbell's taking somebody's job.
So somebody's hitting the practice squad to say the least.
Somebody's hitting the practice squad, or somebody's going to be picked up by the Seahawks preseason week 3. God, because this team is going to be stacked with talent. The cornerback room, I'm probably looking at the secondary. Maybe they might do something there. I know some fans are like AJ Terrell, Mike Hughes, Clark Phillips, D. Alford, but don't forget these guys were on the team last year too as well.
Indeed,
Mike Hughes was there, Clark Phillips was there, and he's a guy that fans are really heavy on. Don't forget about D. Alford too. Team Glow. Team Glow's been balling out here, right? So big shout out to D. Alford. Kevin
Love D. Alford, man. Big D. Alford fan.
Hey, big shout out to Team Glow, man. I mean, he's been doing he's doing his workouts right now, getting ready, of course, for this season to start, and he's been out there, with the Falcons. But ever since day one, he's been going hard, man.
He's worked hard, man, for real. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I stick at Justin Simmons, because adding him to that list bolsters the Falcon secondary. It really does. In every facet, you get somebody who's a ball hawk, somebody who wants to take the ball away from the quarterback, somebody who could possibly blitz but doesn't have to, but he could if you needed him to on a play or certain downs. Man, give me the best safety duo, and I can work everything that we already loaded at defensive line. We're going to be coming after that quarterback. You solidify your safeties. You got AJ Terrell. You possibly can give Clark Phillips a run or see what you can possibly do at that position right there if you feel like he's not completely ready. Man, we got options. It feels so good to talk about the possible options for the Atlanta Falcons, man. We just haven't been here in a while.
Chris, some fans were chatting. They said Mike Hughes and AJ Terrell is going to be 1 and 2.
They can be honest with you, bro. I'll go pack Mike Hughes bags myself.
Shit.
Like seriously, like I got you, dog. You ain't got to touch nothing. Hold on.
Shit.
I got him. I got him. You know what I'm saying?
That's
if he
tough.
Hey man, I'm just being real, man. Mike Hughes, I'm not saying that he's sorry. I'm just saying I want better. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. I just want better because I've seen what you can do. I'm not impressed. I just want better. That's all.
Falcons do have an interesting schedule coming up this year, and they have some teams that they're playing that it's definitely going to be moving the ball down the field. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have to play here at the Benz. They have to go on the road to Philly too as well. Every team is beatable, but they do have some tough matchups here. I mean, the Cowboys have presented a tough matchup for them in the past too as well. And they still have some players on that team that we played them before a couple years ago when they smacked us up that they're going to come in here in the Benz this year. They're going to bring all this wild, ridiculous Cowboy fans up in there. So hostile environment's going to be crazy this year for the Falcons, but you got to put the right 53 out there on the field. So that's why we're looking at these last 4 spots here, 4 or 5 spots for the Falcons before they get ready for that training camp of who they're going to bring in, right? And it could be some walk-ons, and it could be a couple guys that could possibly make the roster. But Taquan Graham, this is a big opportunity for him this season, right? Contavious Street is a big opportunity for him this season. Lakel London. Street is nice. I must say, he did feel a lot of what we needed last year when some players went down.
He played well.
He did play well.
Eddie Goldman, y'all.
Eddie Goldman still as well. Where is Eddie Goldman? Is he
at the bottom?
Yeah, I got to go to another page. My bad. He ain't even on this page. He's on another page. He's by himself. No, I'm just he's down here. He's down here at the bottom. Eddie Kane. Well, yeah, Eddie. There you go.
He down there.
One player I want fans to watch for is James Smith-Williams, though, who came over from the Commanders. Yeah. James Smith-Williams has a high motor, and this guy gets after it in a way where I see where they possibly didn't want to go edge rusher after they brought in James Smith-Williams, right? He's like a true defensive end, kind of. But this guy, if you look at his tape, if you look at what he's done with Washington, of course, playing beside Allen and Payne, like he was on the field for his amount of snaps. He was chasing the fuck out them quarterbacks. I'm telling you, he was moving. He moves the pocket. Real. He moves the pocket. So this scheme that the Falcons getting ready to run, they're putting guys in the position that they need to, push teams back, right, defensively, and of course you see offensively they're getting ready to move the chains, right. So I'm excited. You're getting a defense that's pushing teams back. Those 3 and outs are happening. I see it with this defense, and then you got an offense that's moving the chains, scoring touchdowns. Running game's going to be on fire because you know what Bijan and Tyler can do. Big shot to Jace too as well. Where's Jace? There he is. Big shot to Jace. But even still looking at the 1-2, Chris, Terry, is it Rondo Moore? Is it Darnell Mooney? Look at the tight end room too as well. Are we just going with Pitts, Warner, Fitzpatrick? That's it? That's the room?
Well, to be honest with you, I can see as far as that tight end going, we cleared space for Kyle Pitts. There will be nobody coming in to get in the way of Kyle Pitts, period. You see the blocking tight ends. Now I know Austin at the bottom down there. He's interesting because he can catch the football as well. But everyone else outside of Kyle are pretty much blocking tight ends who could catch the ball, but that's not primarily what you want them to do. So Kyle Pitts, I still think he's your second option, your second target. But you still have to keep him at tight end because that's what you want to pay him as. You don't want to have to pay him as a receiver.
Right?
Yeah. So I would keep him at tight end. But yeah, he's definitely going to be your second option. Quick question, because I know you still have probably 1 or 2 more things we got to do before we get up out of here. I just wanted you guys to give me, just without even really thinking about it, 2 guys on that defensive line who's not going to be here.
Oh, damn, this is going to be a tough one. Well, I know Ogundeji, so we can get him up out of there. But still, Lakel London, I gotta go with Lakel.
Yeah. Maybe him. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're doing you too. Go ahead, Jack.
I mean, you go ahead. I mean, we're on the same page, but
I think we're all on the same page about Ogundeji. I think Ogundeji. I think he is on the bubble seriously. Gosh, he's on it. And then for my second guy, I'm going to go Harris, Damone Harris down there.
Damone Harris.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him possibly not making it. And
the surprising cut would be Taquan Graham, though.
It could be Eddie Goldman. You know, he's been the runaway nose tackle the past couple of
Right.
seasons. So, you know, we don't know what may happen in between now and then. So
Right.
you can't really count him out. And to be honest with you, if he does it this year, you're not really hurting. You're not hurting at all. And, you know, it could be tough for Eddie. You haven't played in what, 2 seasons, two and a half, two
I'm
and a
just
hook,
saying.
two and a hook.
If
If
it,
we playing spades,
so either you're going to be the
Shit.
freshest or you're going to be the slowest. One out
He
of the
said if
two.
we're playing spades.
yeah. So
Just
I
saying, either
mean,
going to be the freshest or the slowest. It's just
yeah,
what it's going to be.
yeah. So it just now and again, all due respect to Eddie, he could come out like gangbusters, and if he does, great.
Right.
If he does, great.
Right.
But this year is one of those years we are stacked at the defensive line.
You gotta
Stacked.
love to see
man.
it. You gotta love to
So
see it. Matter of fact, that's one of the most improved units that PFF is saying that our
yeah.
defensive line coming out of the draft is one of the most improved units. Chris, your thoughts on PFF rating us as one of the most stacked defensive units after the draft?
Oh, finally, somebody doing some research over there at PFF.
Sheesh. Let's go,
You
PFF.
know, yeah, man. Shout out to PFF for doing some research and realizing what the heck is going on, because a lot of fans and a lot of talking heads just don't see what's going on. We took 5 defensive players out of 8 draft picks, and we're trying to come after that quarterback, trying to get those jerseys dirty. And that's something that we're just going to be doing, y'all. We have great players that's going to come in and fit right in, plug right in. I'm telling you, y'all, I don't want to jump the gun because it's still so early, but I really believe that we can possibly eclipse that 42 sack total. I really believe that, and I'm gonna stand on it for right now. Hopefully it translates and everything, but with the guys that we have coming back and with the guys that we have just drafted meshing together, I can see over 42 sacks. I can see maybe 45, maybe 50. You never know. But I can see more than 42. And we need that because in this league, that it's an offensive driven league. So you got to get the players and especially the quarterback on the ground as fast as you possibly can.
I'm seeing what the Rams did too as well with their team, how they built that defense, not only with Aaron Donald, but around Aaron Donald. And then see the Falcons, like you said, go 5 defensive picks this year with the draft picks that we had. They seem to be not only, of course, changing that scheme to that 3-4, but that 42 sack, man, shit, let's go 50. Let's hit 50. 50 seems like a playoff team.
Yeah, man. I mean, 50, 53, 55, anywhere in that range. Because to be honest with you, anything better than, let's say, 45 is an improvement, because that means that's 8 more. Well, excuse me. If we're talking about 50 coming from 42, that's 8 more plays that you made. It could have been game saving
with a new defensive coordinator and a new scheme.
You don't know what kind of plays it could have been. So, I mean, it's great to have more than what you had the previous year. And again, you got to rush the passer. You look at the teams that have been to the Super Bowl for the past few years, they've either been 1-2 and rushing the passer, 1-2 and total defense. It's just something, bro. So you have to get after the quarterback.
It's so important, Chris, what you're saying, because I'll take one of those sacks from last year against Dobbs from Minnesota or against Kyle Murray from Arizona. Hell, even one against Will Levis from Tennessee. One of those plays could have ended up with the Falcons making the playoffs.
I'll even throw in maybe 1 or 2 more with the Panthers. Come on now. That's what I'm saying, bro. We've already don't say it like 5 different sacks that we needed.
It's starting to hurt.
We still would have had 3 more. Give me maybe like 1 or 2 back in that Washington game too, by the way. Yeah, I ain't forgot about that game. Have one of Drake London's best career games, and we just falter at the end. It just, oh gosh. That one made me upset because I know we had a guest on that day, and I told her that Drake was gonna torch the defense. He did, and we still end up losing. So it's just like, so technically we both are right. I hate it.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Chat is live. Chat is lit. Terry.
I'm glad it happened. Sometimes in order to become the butterfly, you got to go through the cocoon stage. And last year, that was our cocoon, and we had to transform, and the metamorphosis is complete. And I think you will probably get 50 sacks. To me, I've always had more trouble with the 3-4 defense than a 4-3. Because with the 3-4, you have the ability to stack more linebackers at the point of attack, and you don't know who's coming. You really don't. In a true 3-4. So I think, especially with a lot of the draft picks that we have, that tapestry woven through each and every one of them is they all get off that line very well. They all rush the passer very well. And that is the way I can see them impacting. So I'm going to go ahead and take the over for 42 this year. I'm going to say 48. I'm going to say we get there. Raheem is very good at scheming, specifically scheming blitzes. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, so a lot of those young guys play different spots on the line too as well. So it's good to see that you don't have a guy that can just play one stunt. He can play all over.
And they're versatile. Correct. And they're versatile. Right. But yeah, I mean, guys, if last year's regime doesn't die, we don't get the rising of ashes from the Phoenix that we have this year. So I'm glad for each and every fumble last year. I'm glad for each and every interception. I'm glad because, quite candidly, we weren't going to win with that regime anyway, and this is no shot at them. I just think that they did not – the fates didn't align for them, right? The fates – sometimes it's just about timing. I think one day Arthur Smith will be a better coach. Understand, the coaching position in the NFL is one of the most difficult because you don't have the time that you did 20 years ago. It is not the same. Right. It is not the same. So you can be a great offensive or defensive coordinator, but if you can't delegate, if you can't evaluate the coaches that you need, right? If you're a first-year coach, develop the relationships needed to not only coach the team, but coach the coaches. There's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of guys are not ready for it that first go round, right? And I think our fates were tied to that last year. I think in Raheem, we have a guy that's done it before. And let's be real, he's done it, and he's been in some of the best organizations that we have right now, right? Because guess what? In order to be a great leader, you have to be groomed and led by great leaders, right? You have to be mentored and developed by great leaders. And I think we have that now. And if it wasn't for last year's snafus, we wouldn't. So I'm ecstatic that every loss happened. Guess what? You can't go forward and back at the same time. Something got to die.
Factual.
So if you want to get to the new you, the old you has to die. And hey, Falcons from 2023, love you. Bye-bye.
That is Terry when Terry's cooking. Not only Terry Fontenot's cooking, but T Will's our Terry from One Time for the Fans cooking too.
Over there looking like a doggone Waffle House chef.
Yeah. Going in. You know, if you go to the Waffle House and see Terry out there smoking a cigarette, the food's gonna be good. So
I want it scatter covered in smother or something like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Falcon
better be looking tight. Ain't in here to hit that bell. Shout out to the Atlanta Bird gang too, man.
Yo, big shout out to Bird gang. Big shout out to all the Falcon fans. Big shout out to all the content creators, man.
Hey,
once again, we have a big season ahead, Chris. A big season ahead. Schedule's going to drop soon, and we can talk Falcons football for hours here on One Time for the Fan. But it's time for us to enjoy our Friday too as well. But Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday is what we love to do. We can do it any day of the week. But of course, as we're one more Friday closer to the season, one more Falcons Friday closer to the season. It's good to see that these pictures and videos are coming out. With Kirk Cousins. And of course, Mooney too as well, and of course Jesse Bates when he spoke to the media, and Chris Lindstrom too as well. Lisa Shepard's in the chat. Did y'all see that Jesse Bates interview? Without saying his name, there was a shot at old Arthur Awful Smith. He was commenting on Raheem and said that in the locker room was needed, and we talked about it on the channel here back when Arthur Smith was the coach about losing the locker room, right? And it happens when a team is on the decline, like when they're not winning, when you have to bench players and do all this nonsense and you're speaking to the media a certain way. So We saw it, but this new team, like you said, Terry, goodbye to 2023's team. Like this new team that we have in the building, we're going to win. And I'm feeling like, when the schedule does drop, I think Georgia Texas boy said schedule drops Sunday. I heard a Sunday drop. That's wild. That's wild. I think I would want to think that they'll do the schedule release on a Tuesday or a Thursday when they have like the ESPN and the whole, sit down, do the segments. Right. But maybe I don't know if it's Sunday, but if it is, you know it's about to happen over here, man. It's about to go down in a major way. Chris, what game are you excited for this season before we get up out of here? That's a
game that I'm excited about. Ooh,
yeah, heavy schedule. But if you had to just pick one for this season, if they said, Chris, you can only go to one game this season, what game would it be?
Most likely, it's either going to be a toss-up between one of these two games. It's either going to be the Falcons and the Chiefs, because I definitely want to see where our team matches up against a world champion. Or it would have to be probably the Minnesota game. Want to see how Kirk reacts.
Going back to the U.S. Bank?
Yeah, man, I would want to see how Kirk would be able to react. Will he be able to keep his emotions in check? Will he be able to still deliver the ball? Like, is it going to be one of those things to where, like, I don't want Kirk Cousins to have a John Collins type game when he came back to Atlanta.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you could definitely tell that John was overwhelmed with emotions, and it showed in his game that night too. So, and I was at that game, so it showed in his game that night too. So it just, I want to see how Kirk's going to react to being back in Minnesota, how he's going to perform. Or I would want to see the Chiefs, just because, like I said, they're world champions.
Falcon fans in the chat, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, not only for us here at One Time for the Fan, but of course over there at A1 Forever's channel. Chat, what game would you want to go to this year? Like if you had to pick one game to go to, you see Georgia Texas boy in the chat said Falcons versus Raiders in Vegas. Chat, before we get up out of here, what game would you love to go to? I know we have a lot of season ticket holders in the chat too as well. But if it had to be one game you could go to this year, or you had to invite your friend or your family member to one game this year, what would you pick? I think Falcon fans would say Falcon Saints too as well. That's always a big game that everybody. Matter of fact, you thought the game here in the Benz was something. Wait till you go down to doggone New Orleans.
They don't like us down there, boy.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. Terry, goes to you here. What game, one game would you want to go to this season looking at the schedule?
Well, not to be petty. Why is it that when somebody says something like not to be petty, you know they about to be petty as hell? Not to be petty. Right? not to be petty, but all about the revenge tour. So yeah, let me holler at Arthur and the Steelers, or let me holler at Dan and the Commanders.
You just want to beat the former
that's what I said. It was so tough because you got people you need to see. You got old receipts you need to take care of now.
Yeah, old Arthur Smith's in town. You hit the text group chat.
Yeah, so that's that's going to be exciting too. We have so many good games that are potentially good games coming up, y'all. And real quick, I want to give Miss Lisa her shout out too, because she said something in the chat that I had caught a glimpse of, and it's so crazy, but yet so simple. This is about to be Kyle Pitts' 5th quarterback.
Yes, the Falcons owe him an apology.
That's crazy.
Second real one.
Any kind of consistency at quarterback, and there's another reason.
Second real quarterback.
Yeah, because Matt was his first.
Let's go along with that.
That's why he's excited about being with Kirk, because Kirk is going to get you probably to that 1,000-yard mark. You're going to get more than 2 touchdowns. Hell, you might score 2 touchdowns the week one.
You know what? Let me be fair. Second competent one.
Shit.
That's a better way of saying that. Second competent one. There you go.
Falcon fans, hit that subscribe button. A1 forever. Talking Falcons football. Michael says Steelers going to feed us CP that game. Oh, that's right. CP does play for the Steelers.
Yeah, he goes over there. Yeah. Well, they got him. They got Pruitt. They got half our team from last year.
Yeah,
Everybody we let go, they went and got them.
they went on the Arthur tour.
Yeah, they
This is
really
getting out of
did.
hand. This is getting
They
out of
really
hand. Georgia
did. And
Texas
then
boy
you
said
see
we
that
play this.
they improved their offensive line in the draft too.
Mm-hmm.
They
But
did.
they're gonna be running that ball.
They
I
did.
mean,
Yeah.
they gotta worry about a lot in their division. I mean, they still have to deal with the Ravens, who is a tough ass team,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I
Oh,
know
yeah.
some fans are looking at it like, oh, that's an out of conference game. Let's not worry about it. Let's not get caught up in the trap game. We need to beat the Steelers. There's a lot that rides on that game,
We
right?
need to beat
We
everybody
normally
we
don't
can.
beat the Steelers either. If
Yeah.
you look at our history,
Yeah.
we always lose to the Steelers, and I don't like that either.
Yeah. And you're playing them at home. The Steeler fan base is coming here. Arthur Smith is coming back. CP is going to be in here. You got Justin Fields, the Justin Field fan base type thing. Then Russell Wilson, the whole Sierra thing. Hell, Future might even. Future, if you're there. Future, if you're there. If you're listening. Before you go on tour with Metro Boomin again, if you got time when the schedule drops, if you want to buy row 1 tickets over there in section 131. Behind the Steelers bench. You want to be petty.
Speaking of petty about it. Yeah.
I don't want to be petty, but sometimes you got to be. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. This is great when you got Falcon fans talking Falcons football. Chris, we didn't mean to hold up your Friday morning like this, but when we're talking Falcons football, we could talk all day.
We really could.
Chris, this has been great talking Falcons football with you. Terry too as well. Where can we find you once again on your social media, your platform? Give us a little bit about your channel, what you got going on, so that way fans can definitely follow you here on One Time for the Fan.
No problem, man. Again, you can find me on X at A1ROC or A1 Forever. You can also find me on Instagram, A1 Forever, TikTok, the real A1 Forever, as I put little highlights and stuff like that. You know, TikTok is a little bit more lenient than other sites, let's just say that. Sheesh. And yeah, man, YouTube, of course, just like you see down here at the bottom, A1 Forever Sports. You'll see the white, black, and blue logo, and that's why you can go ahead and click on subscribe right there for your boy, as A1 Forever Sports, the show that's cooler and fly too. We be generational because it's always time to be, and we don't settle for less because you always can have more with a vision. I encourage everybody on this wonderful Falcon Friday to find your peace today, because positive energy always creates elevation, and that's how you find your peace. And I need everybody to do that on this Good Friday and every day if you possibly can. So as far as things going on, I believe trying to get a live going on with Smitty, possibly RJ, who's a part of the 95 North Forever crew now.
Shout out Smitty, shout out RJ.
Yeah, man, I'm supposed to be talking hopefully about this Kevin Durant situation that's floating around out there. So,
but the Hawks fans want him here in the A.
Man, it's a couple of reports, so they trying to put out there about the Hawks and possibly the Suns being trade partners and just everything, man. But
and trade, let me guess, trade to LA. Those talks still
LA trades. We plan on getting some basketball talk in, so we're trying to set that up as well. So look out for that. You already know Falcons content. Definitely got to get back into the Braves, as people are kind of like panicking. But the Braves are 20-9.
They just traded for a picture this morning.
Right, and the Braves are 20-9 with one of the best records in baseball, and they just really lost their first series. So everybody kind of just need to just take a deep breath, on the Atlanta Braves as well. But definitely got to get Terry back in. John from Out of Your Falcon Mind, a few other Braves fans. We gotta get it in some more too, man. So just looking for great content. Thank you to you guys for having me on for One Time with a Fan. Really appreciate the invite, and shout out to all the Falcons faithful in the chat, man, and everybody who's going about their day with their nose in the air, saying we don't care what y'all think about the Michael Penix pick, because we ain't gonna be in quarterback purgatory no more.
Love it.
Hit that like, share, and subscribe button for A1 Forever. Chris, we thank you for joining us here on One Time for the Fan. And once again, you're going to be back, right? So this isn't the last time you're going to be on the channel. We're probably going to have a panel next week or something going on where you're going to pop up and talk Falcons football with us. We just had Larry from the Dixon Way on here the other day too as well. Larry was also talking Falcons football with you last night. And then this morning, you're here on One Time for the Fan. John and Mike from Out of Your Falcon Mind is probably going to be coming up later with us this week. So as you can see, Falcon fans are we're excited, man. This season is getting ready to start.
We circulating. Rise up, content creators.
Rise up, content creators, y'all. Chris, what's up, Terry?
Let me give Chris his flowers for a second.
Man, go right ahead.
What's that?
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, about this young man right here. I have done a few shows with him. Really enjoy it. Chris is probably one of the most versatile co-hosts that I've seen. Let me tell you something. Chris can be factual. Chris can be insightful. Chris can be funny. So if you guys have never seen Smitty's show, yeah, right. But let me tell you something. Chris can be funny. Chris is a very, very multifaceted, multi-talented young man. I like what he's about. You know what, Jack? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I like everybody that we've had on our show because the one thing that I see that is woven through all of our guests is integrity. Chris is a man of integrity, but every guest that we have on this show is a man of integrity. But Chris is one of my favorites. I think I can say that because he's just so versatile. He can talk about an array of subjects. He's very articulate, but dang it, he is funny. So if you guys have not seen him on Smitty's show, you need to check him out. They were cutting up so bad the other day, man. I had to pull over. Like I didn't. My window almost. And then the show I'm talking about, Chris. My window almost got a face full of that fan of pineapple because Chris was cutting up. Chris was cutting up. So look, man, I just believe in giving folks flowers. And I'm really a fan of yours, and I appreciate you, brother. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Hey, man, I really do humbly appreciate that, man. And to be honest with you, bro, like I hearing those nice gestures and those flowers, I really do appreciate it. But every day, man, I'm working to get better. Every day, I feel like there's something I could have get better on.
Yes,
I'm not full of myself. I don't take myself too seriously. Like I enjoy having a good time. I don't mind. You know what I'm saying, like pretty much embarrassing myself or whatever the case may be. I mean, it's all good fun for me because I know who I am as a person, as a man, and as an individual, period.
There you go.
It never bothers me, and I got to give flowers to you guys as well, man. You guys are doing your thing. Positive content. It's always great to be around intelligent men. You know what I'm saying? Intelligent men. I'm not gonna put no color on it. I'm just gonna say intelligent men.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy, like I said, doing a show with you guys, doing a show with any of the content creators, you know what I'm saying? Because we all bring something different. We're all insightful and we're all intelligent. And that is a very important thing. So shout out to One Time for the Fan. Shout out to Big Low, Uncle Steve, you know what I'm saying, the 95 North crew. Shout out to everybody because it's not easy to get up there, say your opinions, stand on them, and you know what I'm saying, no matter what other people think and believe. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Falcon faithful, man, who come through, dedicate their time, give their ears, their mouths, their minds to us, you know what I'm saying, content creators, because I'm a firm believer that nobody has to do anything for you. Nobody has to do anything for you. So the fact that you guys click on when the notification bells, you know what I'm saying, go off, y'all click on and watch our content. I just got to give a shout out to the fans and the people in the chat as well, man. Whether you're a fan of the Falcon, a fan of the panel, the person, whatever, just thank you guys. Because without us, without y'all, there is no us.
Yeah, man.
Seriously.
Thank you, man. Once again, this congratulations to you guys as well. I mean, next week is going to be a big blessing for you in your life. And you're doing great things on your channel, and you're going to continue doing great things, and you're going to be back here on One Time for the Fan, right? Because once again, all we do is not only talk Falcons football, but we keep it real. It doesn't matter if it's in a chat, on a podcast, or off the podcast. Also, I mean, a lot of people don't even know what you do during your 24/7, like during your work. Like you are diehard on the you're on the field, man. You walk, you do this, man. You know what you're doing out here. You are a real deal Falcon fan, right? This ain't no brother that's out here just trying to, grab subscribers and make some money and all this stuff. Man, this dude talks Falcons football. He talks Braves. He'll talk Hawks with you. Like,
Hey, man.
those are the fans that you're gonna get out here in this world.
And I'll talk sports with anybody. I don't discriminate.
Talk sports.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't discriminate with anybody. If you come up to me and be like, "Hey, man, what's your thoughts about this?" I mean, if I have time, we'll probably stand right there and have a conversation. Yeah. Like I'm very approachable, especially when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, I don't have a problem with anybody. Again, like I said, thank you guys. Shout out to you guys, your channel. Shout out to all the content creators. I don't have any beef with anybody. Hopefully no one has any beef with me. And, I just want us all to come together because we all representing one thing, regardless of opinion, whether who's right or wrong. It's all about this, that logo. And, when it comes down to it, that's what we always got to keep that in the forefront. It's all about the logo. We can have
the name on the front. Not the name on the back. Name on the front.
So thank you guys again.
Yes, sir.
Man. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button for A1 Forever. Thank you so much, Chris. We'll definitely get you back on one time for the fan.
Yes, sir.
Falcon fans, this what it's about. Damn. That's how you wake up on a Friday, Chris.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
That's how you wake up on a Friday. I woke up to talk about the draft class and the chat, and the Kendrick Lamar drops a banger.
Yeah,
my chat's blowing up right now. Like, bro,
they're getting after it.
I know you're over there talking Falcons, but Kendrick Lamar just dropped a bang.
Yeah.
So I gotta go deal with that, and then I got something else to deal with. Falcon fans, y'all know what we got going on with this Rise Up tour, right? And I gotta put y'all on game. Because we have a big schedule release podcast coming up. For those that do not know, for those that's never been on the road before, we have these parties, we have these events. I know y'all see it right there on the screen. The schedule is going to drop in a couple days. A lot of you guys and girls are going to say, "Oh, I'm going to New Orleans. I'm going to Minnesota. I'm going to Philly. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to Denver." What you see on the screen is a group started by myself and a friend of mine. Big shout out to Thomas. I know he's probably in the chat. But we do this when it comes to being on the road at these away games, putting on these events. So if anybody wants to be a part of the Rise Up Tour fan club, let me know. I can send some information over there to you. We are a membership-based group. But once again, we get the job done when it comes to being on the road, putting on these parties and events for these fans so y'all can have a good time. And the group is growing, over 1,300 members right now, and the group will continue to grow. Falcon fans, hit that like. Falcon fans, hit that share. Falcon fans, hit that subscribe button. I know y'all know about Steel Curtain and all these other names that's probably going to be coming out here, the Cowboy groups, and we got our own. It's called the Rise Up Tour Fan Club. Most of y'all been on the road talking about, we hear y'all making all that damn noise. Yeah, it's because we all sit together when we go on the road. So for Falcon fans, it's going to be traveling this year. Definitely want to pull up to the Rise Up Tour fan club events. We got a lot of stuff going on. So don't miss out. Don't miss out. But we have a scheduled release podcast coming up, Terry, with a lot of Rise Up Tour members, a lot of members who travel to these Falcon games and help put on these events. But we're going to talk some real Falcons football then, because not only these Falcon fans are Falcon fans and season ticket holders and PSL holders, but they love traveling to away games. That's what they want to do. A lot of them want to go to all the stadiums. Like, I'm at 19 stadiums right now, and I got 3 this year. Philly, Denver, and Vegas is the 3 that's on my schedule. Of course, I'm going to all of them, but Philly, Denver, and Vegas is the 3 that I need to get to 22. Right. And of course, next year, I think we go to New England again, so I can go to New England and so forth. So Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. But once again, Terry, as we sit here with Breakfast with One Time for the Fan, Chris came in here spitting facts.
Yes, he did.
From the moment he walked in. And that's when we have Larry from the Dixon Way and Scott Karisick and Miles Garrett and Chase and Bodie and everybody that joins this channel, they just come here and just drop facts. They talk Falcons football. They keep it real. But Chris kicked off this morning the right way. I feel like I was talking to damn near Terry for a second. I mean, Raheem for a second.
Yeah.
Like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to football.
Love Chris. Absolutely love Chris. Absolutely.
And it's good to have A1 on the channel here talking Falcons football with us, because at the end of the day, we're all Atlanta Falcon fans, and we all want to win. Now, hopefully the sun comes out so I can get this golf game in. I don't know what's up with these 2024 golfers. They see a little rain. Oh no, man! These shoes I bought. Hey man, I don't know what's going on. But Terry, this has been great talking breakfast with One Time for the Fan with the chat, and I got some great news as well. I think we have a new podcaster to introduce coming up real soon. So, Bodie, big shout out to Bodie. He's on his off-season vacation. Bodie was doing damn near every show, man, for a year and a half straight. Every show. Sunday, Wednesday, pop-up shows, and he has a lot going on. He's changed jobs too as well. He bought a new house too as well. He's moving. You know what I'm saying? And he's moving in the right direction. But you saw Bodie on draft night. Bodie's still 100% diehard Atlanta Falcon fan, and of course, One Time for the Fan. And Bodie will be popping in from time to time. When that season gets around, Bodie starts getting active, right? So big shout out to Bodie in his offseason. Chase from Dirty Fanatics United. Of course, One Time for the Fan. He has a lot going on over there on his channel. He has a baby on the way, and he just had a baby. He got a lot of baby stuff going on. But of course, he has DFU too as well. That's his baby over there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully he brought the dog inside. I told him don't leave the dog outside in the backyard like that. You can't be doing that.
Don't do the dog like that, Chase.
Don't do the dog like that, Chase. But big shout out to Chase, and of course he works hard every single day at his job for what he does. I think he was building a spaceship the other day. I was going to say, well, who the fuck's going to the moon, Chase? I don't know how the fuck he was doing it. But Chase is a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. One Time for the Fan.
Yes, he is. And a good dude.
And he's a good dude. I believe he might be going live tonight too as well. So
check him out, 8:00.
Yeah, that's going to be good. That we have a lot of content creators that do talk Falcons football. But here at One Time for the Fan, we're always looking for people that love to talk Falcons football every day. So of course, we'll be introducing our new podcaster really soon here to the channel, and I'm excited because this person has been on the channel before. I think Falcon fans would be like, "Oh shit, that's what's up." One Time for the Fan, y'all are doing good things here in the community, not only for Falcon fans, but of course, with the Rise Up tour and everything, what we do on the road and shit. Like, we're trying to bring a fan base together. We're trying to make sure we're a positive group, Terry. And I know this was off subject because we already talked about the draft class, and we talked about Michael Penix, and we talked about Kirk Cousins and everything that we had to talk about. But we're still Falcon fans, so this is all Falcon related. But Terry, this is a great show. I cannot wait to get to Sunday night. We can talk Falcons football again. We do have another special guest with us joining us Sunday. I believe I can go ahead and say I think Lisa Shepard is going to be joining us too as well.
It's Lisa. Love it.
Shout to Lisa Shepard, who will be joining us Sunday night to what? Talk Falcons football.
Talk Falcons football. Love it.
Lisa Shepard from Blogging Dirty. You guys probably read some of her articles too as well. You guys probably shared some of her content too as well. She travels to a lot of the games. You saw her probably at the draft too as well. She's a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. And she's also been on the channel here before talking Falcons football with us. She's in the chat right now. Right? Lisa, where's she at? Lisa, where you at, Lisa? Lisa, where are you? Oh, there she goes. Oh, wait a minute. My son took my mouse, so
every now and then you got an address you drop on us, man. You were like, Lisa, where are you? Lisa
Shepard's going to be talking Falcons football with us on Sunday. And of course, when it comes to training camp, you can definitely find Lisa there too as well. Doesn't matter where it's going to be. They'll have an autograph signing. Lisa Shepard's there. They can have a cake competition. Lisa Shepard's there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward
to doing a grass cutting competition. Lisa Shepard's going to be
there. At least it's there.
It's a diehard fan. It's just true Atlanta Falcons spirit, right? So we're gonna talk some Falcons football with Lisa Shepard. Bobby B Blazins in the chat. Man, you guys were great. So glad I ran up on your channel today. Y'all go sub for these boys. Hey, we appreciate the sub. It's free. We ain't charging nobody, right? We out here just trying to have a good time, talk Falcons football, and fans here in the chat, bring your questions, bring your comments. We'll talk Falcons football with everybody. Y'all know how we do this on the channel. Our Sunday and Wednesday shows go crazy. Friday morning shows are going crazy. Some fans are asking us to do another show. So I might even try to find another time slot to do another show because we can continue this at any time. Carrie's in the chat. Love that, Chris. Always appreciate your positivity and humbleness. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Salute to all Falcons fam. Carrie's probably going crazy over that Kendrick Lamar diss track right now. She's going crazy. Kendrick said it though. He's about to drop back to back. He said it. He said back to back. We'll get. He said on the last diss track, back to back. We'll get back to that. That's for another record. Then he drops another banger. I'm all for hip hop, man. I'm all for hip hop. I mean, two rich folks arguing about money. Talk about it. Talk about it. Who got more money? All right. Okay. Let me get back to work.
I tell you what, hip hop has definitely evolved when we talk about two rich rappers going after each other, and it's factual, right? There's
money. How many Maybachs you got? How many Rollies you got? Right. I don't know, man. I'm drinking this motherfucking great value water, man.
That's right. There's no posturing. It is all facts. So
I ain't got no chef. I'm going to the Waffle House in a couple minutes, man.
Matter of fact, somebody dropped our resident trivia guy. I can't think of his name, but at the beginning of the show, he dropped the question.
Who is the father of hip hop?
Who is the father of hip hop? And you know what? As the best I can come up with. Now, you could go with, the Sugar Hill Gang. You could go with golly, the guy from The Message. I'm gonna go with Curtis Blow. I'm probably wrong, but I'm gonna go with Curtis Blow.
We had a lot of comments in the chat. Curtis Blow is kind of up there around my time. Around us, I was gonna say like, not KRS-One. Shit, probably. What's the
KRS-One?
Sugar Hill Gang was up there.
Yeah, but the father, they were a group, right? Now, for the record, KRS-One is in my top 5, and little big brother, I love you, bro, but you're wrong. KRS-One is that dude, Eric. We had an argument about this 6 months ago, and I'm standing on business. KRS-One is that dude. I'm sorry, Jack. I got to be petty. I have to
big shout out to Falcon fans.
The brother rule. Got to be petty. I'm gonna say Curtis Blow. I don't know. I'm gonna say Curtis Blow.
You dropped the answer in the chat. We had a shit ton of comments, so I don't want to just scroll back through and let fans say, "Okay, we're not going to sit here for 10 minutes. Let you go through the comments." But the fans in the chat are lit, so we're gonna go back and definitely check. And big shout out to Deshaun because he's usually first in the chat to come dropping some question to try to stomp us.
Yep.
And he tried to do it a couple weeks ago. Couple days ago for draft. He's been doing this since day one, though. So big shout out to Deshaun.
I love it. I love it.
Hopefully you're healthy, man. I remember you went through a situation. I think it was earlier this year and last year. So I hope you're back to 100%, bro. But it's good to see you in the chat too as well. Bobby D said Minnesota too cold. So yeah, so we went to Minnesota back in 2021, I think it was, or 2020, one of those years. And the game was a week 1 game, and it was kind of chilly, So if the game is going to be anywhere after that September 15th day, it's going to be pretty chilly, and it does rain a little bit too as well. But for fans that's heading to Minnesota, our party is going to be indoors, right? I mean, we got some rooftop shit, but it's going to be indoors. Terry,
you know who it is, Jack? Mm-hmm. And I didn't think about DJ Kool Herc.
Oh, DJ Kool Herc. That's what Deshaun
father is. That was a good one. That was a good one. He got me with that one.
DSGB Hall said, Jack, let T Will know he can't be talking logical in 85 group. Terry, are you somebody argue in that group? Let me tell you something about them fans, right? They went 2-15, bro. They don't want to hear the fact. They don't want to hear none of that shit. They don't want to hear talking about quarterbacks and stats and numbers and Kirk Cousins. They're finna sit there and say, yeah, well, we got Sir Purr. That's the type of Panther fans you're looking at in that group.
And let me tell you something about that chat, right? So I was those of you that are on Facebook know I was on one the other night, man. I don't know. I equated to Tom Cruise in that movie when he sends out that memo and gets fired the next day. Although thank you, Jack, for not firing me, but I was just on one. You know what I mean? So I wrote this very, very, very long message, and I posted it in a bunch of groups because I'm in a bunch of groups, and I posted it in that one, right? And Ernest is cool. I love Ernest. Ernest is that friend that's, you know what I mean? He's never too high, he's never too low, he's cool. But let me tell you something, man. That Kiki is hilarious.
Should get you going.
And let me tell you something. Shout out to Kiki. Shout out to Bodie. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Jack for starting this group. I would not be here without them, so I got to give them. But I got to tell y'all what Kiki did the other day. So I put this post in there, and I guess the Panthers fans started talking something. And for you guys who don't know me, I may be a little loquacious on the chat, but we talking about writing, bruh. I can write a book. Okay, yeah. I can write a book. So I put this response in there to him, and Kiki goes, "You gotta slow down, man. You're using too many big words. He's a Panthers fan." But the way she said it, it was just hilarious.
It's not right.
I'm not gonna put down Panthers fan, whatever. But Kiki is that person that in the moment she kind of said something. And it's hilarious. I was not ready for it. Wherever you are, Kiki, shout out to you. But it was funny. It was one of those. I probably shouldn't have laughed at it. I probably shouldn't have. My mother would, but it was funny. Yeah. So I got to shout out to her, man. So it's funny. Ernest brought that because Ernest was right there. Like he came right after her. Was like not one time in the chat, but it was man. It was funny. So that kind. I'm not gonna say it made my day, but it kind of made my day. It was funny. So anyway, Jack, I'm sorry. Back to you, sir. Sorry about that.
Okay, but that 85 North chat is hilarious.
They get after it. They get after
it. It's some real big brother type stuff, the Falcon Panther stuff. I mean, it's like why are you guys here? Like, why? I mean, the chat is cool, but it's like, why are the Panthers here? Like, why?
Right.
Like, this is sad. Like, I mean, we go at it with the Saints, and the Falcon Saint rivalry is like, it's up here. But then you got the Panthers.
It's like TV, man. It's must-see TV.
You're fighting like I don't know if you've been in a fight. We've probably been jumped before. I mean, I've been through some situations where we got down back in the day, so you had to slug them out. But it's like you're fighting somebody and like you're whipping somebody up, and then somebody's grabbing your foot. Like, who the fuck is grabbing my foot? And you look down, and it's like,
get off me!
You damn Panthers, get off of me!
Get off me!
Handling business.
Get off me!
You over here grabbing my foot.
Oh man,
that's how them Panther fans are. Saints and Falcons. We got the rivalry. We battling back and forth, city versus city. Who got this? Who got that? Food, culture, entertainment, and then the Panther fans like pulling at your shirt, like, "Hey man, me too." Like, man, get your ass on somewhere.
Yeah,
damn Panther fans, man.
Yeah, man. My brother. For those of you who do not know, my brother is a savage when it comes to checking anybody talking about those Falcons in that chat, man. Like let me tell you something. I would not want to take on my brother. My brother is about that life. You hear me? Like if I respond, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna keep it about the situation, and I'm probably gonna drop a few metaphors on you. I'm probably going to crack some jokes at myself, use some self-deprecating humor, and I'm going to use logic to just eventually wear you down in your argument. My brother is going to use argument and make you feel stupid about yourself. Like there have been some fans that have just,
he might roast
he's going to roast you. Let me tell you something.
If he takes it outside of the chat, and you see a post coming, you probably getting roasted too.
Eric Parker is about that life. You hear me? So I don't know, man, but it's funny, Jack. I typically don't venture into those chats just because, I'm so passionate about the Falcons, bro. I'll spend 2 hours going back and forth with somebody, and I don't have that kind of time. So I try not to get in there, but I was on one the other night and I dropped one in there, and pretty much everybody was cool except this one guy. I can't remember his name. And we went back and forth and back and forth. And I got my little Eric Parker on yesterday. So I thought that was funny. Matter of fact, I thought he was going to jump in and say something, but I guess he saw that I handled it. So, he didn't. But the whole time I'm sitting there doing it, I'm thinking to myself, he just doesn't know who my brother is. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. And that's the one thing about, most fans that know Eric, because Eric he's known in these fan groups when it comes to Falcons Saints, Falcons Bucks, Falcons Panthers, because, he does speak his mind. And then, like I said, he will roast you too. And he's very good at Photoshop. So he has the pictures to back it up. He got the memes to back it up. I've seen a lot of people take Eric Parker's memes and just use it for their, type of content thing too as well.
He roasted me once, Jack. He roasted. So we were, this was some Alabama Auburn stuff. You know what I mean? We're kind of going back and forth. Something. And he was like, oh, yeah. And he sent me this meme, and I still have it on my page to this day, man. So
he's a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan. He's been on the channel here too as well a couple of times. And of course, he'll probably be on the channel coming up again. But Terry, this is once again breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Falcons fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. Big shout out to all the admins in those Facebook groups that allow us to post our content in there too as well. Big shout out to everybody who's a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan here in the chat. Listening, podcasts, Amazon podcasts, Spotify podcasts, YouTube, wherever you are. Big shout out to you all because it does take you all to help grow this channel. And of course, we're just talking Falcons football in a positive way until the season starts. Everybody's having a good time. Go out there and buy that merch, get that Falcons gear, because of course, when the season starts, when we start winning, the shit's gonna get expensive, right? You remember that time we went to the Super Bowl, you couldn't even get no merch. Everybody was selling it at the damn corners of the gas stations. But we're going to get back this year to, being that team that other teams fear. We're going to be running the scoreboard up on some teams. Defense going to be getting some offenses off the board. It's going to be a lot of 3 and outs for that defense this year. And it's going to be good to see because it gives an opportunity for Kurt to work. It gives an opportunity for Bijan to get it going. Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, Week 1, if it's a home opener, the Benz is packed. I don't care who you're playing. If it's a home opener, the Benz is packed, right? And if you're going on the road, definitely prepare for what we got going on with the Rise Up Tour fan club because we got a lot of parties and events that fans would love to have a part of their experience this season, right? So, Terry, before we get up out of here, man, your shout-outs for the day.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to thank God for waking me up. Thank you, God, for continuing to heal my mom. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. Thank you, God, for Jack and my brother for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, God, for these fans. Thank you, God, for my kids. Thank you, God, for my job. Just thank you, God, for everything. Let's get that out of the way. Thank you. Secondly, first and foremost, guys, I want to thank the fans. I want to thank the Falcons fans. What's up? Shout out to Dixon Way. I want to thank the Falcons fans. I want to thank the One Time fans. And I want to say to all of the fans, hey, man, I've been with these Falcons for 50 plus years. So I know what it is to support your team. I know what it is to be crushed at the end of a loss. I know what it is to be embarrassed the next year. And I'm going to tell you something. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world because the Falcons will get there. And here's the thing about it, right? When our Falcons finally do win that championship, I get emotional just thinking about it. Sheesh. Because when you watch a team for 50 years, it's not just about you, right? My daddy's not here, and I know he would have loved to have seen that. I want him to experience that. He's going to experience that with and through me. And some of y'all know Falcons fans who are no longer here, but love the Falcons. And that's what it's about. Do not be manipulated by these major networks. Believe in your team. The Broncos, before they won the 2 championships or 3 championships they had failed 4 times. They were the laughing stock of the league. Dan Reeves went to 3 Super Bowls in the 80s and lost them all by a lot. So it's not just the Falcons. They don't just do this to us. And if you listen to these networks, you're going to believe that your team doesn't know what they're doing, and nothing can be farther from the truth. Guys, we are the fans. We have to believe. Let me tell you something. We need to fill up that Mercedes-Benz stadiums as often as we can. I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but as often as we can, we need to believe. We need to show up for this team, because I believe in the next 4 years, they're going to show up for us, right? My mama used to say all the time, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. They can let 28-3 ring from the hallowed halls. It doesn't bother me, because it's not about that. It's not about winning a Super Bowl. It's about the Falcons winning a Super Bowl. It's about my team winning the Super Bowl. It's about my daddy's team winning the Super Bowl. And that's the kind of energy we need to have each and every day. Each and every day, right? Think about it this way. When you got with that person, whoever your person is that you're in love with, nobody can tell you anything about that person. They can't say anything bad about that person. That's how we need to be about these Falcons. Now, if you want to have closed door conversations or whatever about your Falcons, that's fine. But when we are in public, we need to show strength. We need to show unity. We need to be behind these Falcons, because one day, fellas and ladies, it's going to happen. And I'm passionate about it. I'm not preaching to you guys this morning. I'm not even telling you what to do. I'm simply saying that when we get there, and we will get there, it'll be the greatest feeling you've ever experienced in your life. And I want you all to have it. And that's all I got to say, Jack. I defer to you.
Well, what? Well, shit. What? I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I mean, I might just end the stream. I was getting ready to give a shout out to my cousin and my couple people I play the esports with, and that was about it. But I don't even know how to follow that up. I was about to cry. I'll tell you that. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. But then again, you heard it from T. Will, because I mean that's a shout out right there. I mean he's not only shouting out, for the Falcons, but of course he's shouting out for the fans here in the chat, who's listening and who's watching, and of course for those that have family members who's no longer here with us, who may have been big diehard Atlanta Falcon fans, who are not, are like you said, are still living with us, right, through us, right, and he knows that if the Falcons win, like they get to that Super Bowl, they get that ring, like it means a lot for everybody, right? Everybody, because this team has been through a lot, right? And this team has been through a lot, and they're going to continue to go through a lot. But at the end of the day, when it's not football, it's still family.
That's right.
And family is a family comes first type of thing. And we want everybody to enjoy this Friday and have a good day. And don't get caught up in just the Falcons, right? Go enjoy your family. Go take some time to relax. It's the weekend. Find something to do. Find a way to plan a vacation coming up, or if not, whatever makes you happy. Find a way to make you happy.
Amen.
And enjoy this Falcons Friday. We're always going to be here. Sunday night, we are back talking Falcons football. Special guest Lisa Shepard is going to be here talking Falcons football with us. And we probably have a nice announcement to make for you all. I see James Overton's in the chat. He said, trust the process. Those are the fans that you definitely want to see here that believe in the team. He said AS did not have a process. Sheesh. He was going to add another S on the end of that AS over there. But James Overton said, I could not wait to get home after church to watch the Falcons. Terry just took you to church right there on Friday. Early Friday morning service too as well with T. Will. But Falcon fans in the chat, thank you for Chris, for A1 Forever, for jumping in here talking Falcons football. We're going to continue to bring content to you all like we love to do. And please come on back here, hit the like, share, subscribe, YouTube. It's pretty much what we do. Like, we just want to make sure fans are enjoying this year. We're gonna win. We're gonna win together. But shout out to my family. Shout out to everything that's going on around in my life. I'm just blessed, man, Terry, and I know you got a lot going on over there too as well. So blessings to you and your family. But at the end of the day, let's have a good one, right? So Friday stream is now coming to an end. We will see y'all